So what does a finance model consist of? The principal output is on one page, summary page, which we've done here. It's in 4 blocks. The first block over here is the profit and loss account. Not just revenue, profit and loss after tax, but also the key assumptions, in this case our talent placement, client events, minor events, headcount. Those are the numbers that are driving the revenues and the sales. Down here is a funds flow showing how profit before interest and tax, PBIT, turns into cash, closing cash there. Year by year, profit is not cash, it's adjusted by depreciation, interest, capital expenditure, corporation tax, share capital raised and movements in working capital, stocks, debtors, current liabilities, long-term liabilities. Gets you a movement in cash, opening cash position, a closing cash position at the year end. But year's a long time in business, so we've also shown what's the lowest cash position during that period, so we know how much cash the business needs. Down here are some of the key assumptions: financing of equity within its tranches and the dates that that's happening, and then debt, when that's going to come in. We've worked out how much debt can be raised for this business. So at the moment this business is showing a cash flow deficit, and we can adjust that by putting the right amount of cash in there. There's a graph here. This graph is profit before interest and tax, showing month on month how that's generated. This is quite a lumpy business. By putting these events on, it raises a lot of money in certain months. The rest of the time in the year you can see this business is losing money. And last but by no means least, the balance sheet, showing what the state of the business is at each year end. Those are the numbers. I'm sure you're used to some, if not all of those. You're used to spreadsheets. The trouble with spreadsheets, although they balance, although there's a balance sheet there, they can still be wrong. So we've got a few other checks built in, and we look at each of those all the time, and if they're all correct, then the spreadsheet here will say no reported modelling issues. We've also got version control, so we know which version we're at. We can keep a track of how many alterations and iterations of this model there have been, so that everybody's looking at the same one. Because as, again, you may know, they do change over time. Behind this, as represented by the index, there's a summary page. There's a profit and loss, balance sheet and cash flow in detail, which we've just looked at the summaries of, and the sales assumptions, the cost of sales assumptions, the other assumptions, and a corporation tax working. We've got instructions as to how to present this. The model checks we can go to there. And that's a complete model.